And that video is amazing in that, it starts out with mindset and belief system and puts us into a place where, we have an outlook of possibility, a positive outlook or a negative outlook. We either have an outlook of negativity, an outlook of scarcity, or even an outlook of positivity and abundance. And, just like that young man, there's nobody watching him. There's no parents there saying, "Hey, you need to go out and shoot on the court." There's no coach telling him he has to be there. There's no college scout around the corner. He's out there because he wants to get better. He's out there constantly pushing, constantly working on his game, constantly getting better at what he does. High-level athletes work for years and years and years and years and years to get to the top of their game. Sales executives, high-level business people, rainmakers, they work for years to get to the top of their game. For some reason, we think we can walk into this world, into this sales world, in this ISA world, and in a couple of months, we're supposed to be at the top of our game. No, you can get proficient, you can get okay, but it's constant work that has to happen. Constant attention to detail, constantly making those shots, taking those shots, practicing, getting better. That's what Lion Selling, and that's what this program is all about. It's about reinforcement over time, changing your behavior over time, constantly getting better and better and better at what you do. Every one of us has an opportunity to succeed. You have the opportunity right where you're at today to exceed and become anything that you want to become, to have whatever lifestyle you want to have. The world of real estate is unlimited. There's money to be made. There's opportunity around every corner. Every conversation you have every single day with every single person can lead to opportunity. But the old saying is, the man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. He had to figure out how to get up that mountain. And what we're talking about today is one of those things that will help us get up that mountain. This outline here of this house, it's really about how we go about creating our sales opportunities with people. People go through these steps, to make a sale. They go through creating rapport and creating mutual agreement. We understand how to get people's motivation, understand their pain, their pleasure points, their wants, their hopes, their desires, their issues, their concerns. We need to understand people's resources and time and money and effort and stress. We understand how they make decisions and what their decision processes are. We talk about those. We understand when to close and how to close and what our implementation or our presentation style should look like and what we should be doing. But in what connects each one of those floors is a set of stairs. And those stairs really connect those levels. And part of that connection is communication. It's the questioning that we use, the tonality that we use, the other skill sets beyond the scripting. Because it's those skill sets that really make the difference. At the beginning of the session that we did earlier today, I asked a couple of people to give us their some of the victories. We try to do that every week. And as some of you know, we started this recording earlier today. We didn't get it finished because of some internet problems. So I'm starting from the top. But a couple of the victories that were given today that were talked about, Dennis was nice enough to pop up and tell us about the victory that he had with his ISA, where they've set she's setting 5 appointments a week. He's setting appointments. They scheduled 15 appointments last week, and they had a 100% show rate. I mean, that's amazing. And that's really making things happen. And you don't do that unless you're listening really, really well. He also talked about the fact that he hadn't been getting any pre-approval attempts done. And he decided, you know what, doggone it, I'm going to get out of myself. I'm going to get out of my head. I'm going to go out and try to get some things scheduled, get some pre-approval attempts taken. He went out and he had 2 pre-approval attempts, got them both approved, and now they have meetings with those people. So it's a great, testament to somebody who is really working at his craft and getting better and trying to do things differently than what he did and taking some of the concepts we learned here. Andy McCaslin got on and told us about how his team has made 7,000 dials, which was their goal for the month. Fantastic goal to get to. I'm sure all of you have a lot of great accomplishments that's happened each week. And I want to encourage you, when I ask those questions at the beginning of sessions, to hop on there and let us know. Tell us about some of the things that have happened well. Other people need to hear it. There's other people on these calls that need to hear some of your success because they go, you know what? I'm just as good as they are, or I'm just in the same place, or there's just a lot to be learned from hearing the successes of people and how they're using our material. So what we want to talk about today is about people, about how they're alike and how they're different. And I've got a little video to show you about how people are predictively different. There are different people are differences to everybody else, but we can predict, and we need to understand how to communicate with people. You know, one of the things he mentioned there in the video, which I'm not 100% on board with as far as the most important part, but he mentioned that you need to learn what you are. That is important. What kind of behavioral style you are is important. It's not as important in this context, though, when we're talking about how do we identify what type of behavior style other people are, and then how do we modify ourselves to be to communicate with them better. Let's face it, people buy from people that they like. People like people that are like them. I mean, think about it. Your closest friends that you have in your life, they're probably people that are similar to you, similar economics, similar backgrounds, maybe even the same, religion or that kind of thing. Not necessarily every friend you have, but the majority of your friends are probably in a similar circumstance. Probably work in the same places, do the same types of things, etc. So if people buy from people they like, and people like people that are like them, then we can take that next step, which means people buy from people that are like them, right? People connect better and communicate better with people that they understand. And so we need to, when we're on the phone with people, understand that we need to be more like our prospect. It's not about being fake. It's not about being phony. It's not about being manipulative. It's about opening a communication path that allows them to understand us and us to understand them. It is not their responsibility to be clear to us. It's our responsibility to clarify what it is they're saying. This graphic here, I know you've seen it before, talks about communication. And, 7% of what people remember of a communication interaction is the words that we say. 55% is body language and 38% is tonality, except when we're on the phone down here, and it becomes 73% tonality and 27% of what we say. How we sound is vitally important. The pitch we use, the speed we use, the clarity of our speaking, the pausing we use, all are of utmost importance when we're on the phone with people. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you talk too fast and you're not clear and people can't understand what you say, and you're just going to, people won't want to talk to you. If you're just slow and monotone and, I'd really like to find an opportunity to get together with you. I mean, nobody wants to hear that either, right? Unless that's how the other person talks. And that's how they best communicate. So we have to learn to change our communication path to better be heard. I liken it to coaching a youth football team. Years ago, I used to coach a lot of teams. I coached my boys when they were young playing football. And what I found was that there was basically 4 kinds of kids that would come to a football practice, especially in the early years. Like, around here, they start in like 2nd grade, like maybe 3rd grade, right? So 3rd grade, the first time they were playing football, maybe they played with a, tag, flag football or tag or something, but now they actually have uniforms on. And so you really have to teach them some real skills, or how to hit right and how to block and that kind of stuff. You don't want them to get hurt. So I found there's 4 kinds of kids. The first kind of kid is the kind of kid you just walk up to him, you tell him what to do, and he does it, no questions asked. The second kind of kid, not only do you have to tell him what to do a couple of times, but you actually have to physically get down on your hands and knees at their level and show them. And once you show them, then they can do it. The third kind of kid, I don't care how many times I tell him, how many times I show him, he's still not going to do it until I make him do it. Until I tell him, get down there and do it. I got to get in his grill a little bit. I got to raise my voice a little bit. I got to tell him, make him do it. And then after I do that, he's good. He's good to go. But I still got to get on him every once in a while to make sure he does it. Then the fourth kind of kid, I don't care what I say, what I do. If I get on him at all, he's gonna fall down on the ground in a little ball and cry. So I've got 25 kids out here. Half of them do what I tell them to do. The other third, I got to get down on the ground and show them. The couple I got to yell at, and some who won't do anything no matter what I do. And every time I look at them crosswise, they cry. So I've got to take all 25 of these kids, I got to mold them into a team. But I can't just do it one way. It's not my way or the highway. These are kids, right? So I have to learn how to communicate with each individual style so I can get them to all to work together. And it's no different when we're on the phone with people. We have to be able to recognize what kind of style they have, and then we have to be able to figure out how to change our communication path so we can best communicate with them. When we were talking earlier today, for those of you who were on the call that got cut off, Andrew McCaslin came on and he said, he had heard some of this before in one of our sessions, and one of the things that we taught them to do was how to quickly identify the behavior styles by basically deciding if they're a one half or the other half of this chart that I'm showing you right now. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but he gave us a great example of how he's using that to identify people and then consciously change how he and his team communicates. That's exactly what I want us to get out of that. We're going to do some more of that today, but we're also going to be actually listening to some actual calls, breaking those calls down and listening and trying to decide what type of behavior style that person is, both the seller and the prospect. Because the first step in changing our behavior pattern, our first step in changing how we sell and how we communicate is the recognition that there's other types of communication styles out there that are different than ours and how to identify them quickly. Okay? So we're going to listen to some of those things. I want to go back real quickly and take a look at this DISC profiling style sheet to have in front of me. And just like the video said, it breaks us down into 4 areas. It breaks us down into D styles, I styles, S styles, and C styles. This document you're looking at is from a company called Extended Disc North America, and we partner with them. We do disc profiles on our staff and on people that we hire. And Extended Disc North America goes way, way, way beyond the information that you get from the free online disc profiles that are out there. There's some on Tony Robbins' side and some Myometrics ones that are out there. They're very, very, very basic. Are they valuable? Sure, they're valuable. Do they really give you enough information to really make sound decisions on whether to hire people or not? Absolutely not. The extended disc profile that we use comes back with somewhere between a 17 and 23 page report on that particular person, breaks down different sales style characteristics, breakdowns communication style characteristics, gives you a true picture of how this person will operate within your company. And I would certainly suggest, while we don't shill for other companies, I really, really, really believe in Extended Disc North America, have a great relationship with them. And they're very, very, very low cost. They're not free, but they are low cost. The same is we have to learn how to really establish the different types of profiles, and Extended Disc North America does a fantastic job of that, and I really work with them quite a bit, and they've been really, really good to me over the last 10 years. And if you'd like some more information about them, let me know. I'm happy to help you out with that. As we're looking at these identification styles, we really need to look at is, are people D styles, I styles, S styles, or C styles? And the way that I try to do this is, instead of trying to figure out what style somebody is, I usually try to figure out what style they're not, and I try to do that quickly. You notice on the right-hand side, they're D's or I's, right? So I don't have to figure out whether you're a C, a D, an I, or an S. I just have to decide if you're on the right side or if you're on the left side. And it breaks it down to this. On the right side, these people have a tendency to talk fast. D styles talk fast. They're very direct, decisive, to the point. They're impatient. They're strong-willed. They often will interrupt, that kind of thing. I styles, open, talkative, enthusiastic, energetic, persuasive. They talk a lot and they talk fast. The other side, however, they're a little bit slower. They're a little bit more laid back. Look at the words they use. S's, calm, steady, laid back, patient, amiable. They don't talk as fast. They talk a little bit slower. They're very respectful. They don't interrupt. I's and D's interrupt. S's don't interrupt. They slow down. C is the same way. They're more analytical. They're logical. They're quiet. They don't talk fast. They're measured. So all I really have to understand is, do they talk fast? Do they talk quickly? Do they interrupt? Or do they talk slower? They don't give up as much information, and they have a tendency to be a little bit more respectful. They don't cut me off. If I can figure out whether they're on the left or if they're on the right, I can then immediately start to change my communication path to better connect with that. I can then refine that later to their specific style based on words they use, based on how quickly they answer questions, whether they pause and they say or I can start to use those things to my advantage. But at first, are they on the left or the right? Do they talk fast? That means I need to speak faster. If they talk slower and they're more measured, then I need to slow down and be more measured. That right there will make you money. Because people don't say, hey, you're talking too fast, slow down. Sometimes they do. Usually they just say, hey, I have somewhere I got to be. Or I don't have time for this right now. Or I have to go to lunch, or I have a meeting I have to get to. They usually don't say, hey, you're talking too fast and you're annoying me. They simply get rid of you. When you make somebody feel not okay because you're too fast and you don't listen to what they say, you don't acknowledge them, they just move on. Likewise, if they talk a lot slower, if you talk too slow and you can't get to the point and you go on and on and on and use long, flowery language about how this site is going to help you really understand your search, therefore you might be able to be in a better position to make a decision in the future once you have all the information. If you're a D or an I, you ain't got time for that, man. You don't have time for that. So you have to stop thinking, you know what, this is my most comfortable way to communicate. To hell with the rest of you. I'm just going to do it my way. And if it ain't good enough, I'm out. But you know what? You're going to be broke fast. If you don't learn to change your style based on the style of the person you're selling to, you're not going to make very much money, my friends. You are going to be on the outside looking in. You're going to be looking for your next job instead of figuring out, how do I do a fantastic job at this one and learn how to make more money where I'm at right now. So let's do this. Let's get into some actual recordings, listen to some of those recordings, and break those down a little bit and understand what kind of behavior style they are. Okay, so let me flip over here real quick. Oh, that's not it. Let's listen to the first one here.
Hi, is this Brenda? This is Brenda. Hi, Brenda. This is Diana with WichitaKSRealestate.com and Select Homes. How are you today? I'm good. How are you? I am doing well. Thank you. Brenda, I won't take up much of your time. I'm in the client care department. I'm just trying to follow up with you. You had been on our website looking at a few homes. It's just my job to make sure you're finding everything you need in our website. See if you have any questions maybe I might be able to answer for you today. Or maybe just get a better understanding of your situation and a little bit about what you're looking for.
Well, I am looking for something specifically that is handicap accessible. My elderly mother-in-law lives with me and she is in a wheelchair.
Okay.
So she does like scoop transfers. We have over a 7-foot ramp, but we're looking for something that, you know, has wider doors and some bathrooms so she can get her wheelchair clear up to the toilet and,
right,
you know, in and out of the house easy. And that's been the hardest thing for us to find, is because nobody really tells us, you know, door dimensions or anything. So and most houses are not built to have a wheelchair in them.
Yeah, most houses are not built ADA compliant. Wow, okay. Brenda, what are you guys wanting to stay within a certain area of town, or?
We'd like to be more on the west side of Wichita. Jobs are like the downtown Wichita.
All right, let's real quick. Let's stop. Let's take a look at that. The caller, the prospect, what type of behavior system you think that she might be? Think about it real quickly. Does she speak quickly? Does she speak fast? Or does she throw in more, well, we'd like to be on the west side of Wichita? Think about the tonality of her voice. Is it high pitched? Is it quickly? Or talking fast? Is it demanding? Or is it more mellow, kind of laid back? So she probably falls on the left side. She's either an S or a C. My guess right now, an S, maybe with a little bit of I, because she is giving us a little bit of information, but she definitely falls on the SC side of that card based on the pace of her speaking, and how she's dripping out information without being too flowery about it.
Area and family lives kind of on the west side, west, and then north towards Newton. So even Park City and out that way would be okay.
Okay. Now, I'm actually limited in what I can do to help you. Like I said, I'm in the client care department. But what I can do, I can put a search online on our website to send you homes in those areas, you know, with specific price ranges, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms. But I think you're gonna find more success if you can meet with a buyer's agent, talk with them. They're the ones out in the homes, and because we don't track our data by how large, you know, the bathroom doors, how wide, you know, the opening is in the bathroom doors or anything like that. Since they're out in the field and they're showing the homes and looking at the homes, they're going to have that information in their brains rather than in our system.
Right.
I know of one agent in particular, well, and actually even the agent that's assigned to you, both of them deal with a lot of that stuff, you know, in their personal lives. So it's just kind of up to you. I can start the search for you today, and then if you'd like me to, I can set you up with a time to meet our buyer agent, and you know, you can talk with her about your situation, and basically, I mean, the network is going to be the fastest way. You know, networking from person to person is going to be the fastest way to find those homes and kind of filter out what you guys are looking at.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fine. Right, today is kind of a sad day. My father's going in for a heart attack today. Not sure.
Preoccupied.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me get this. What type of price range are you guys wanting to stay within?
We're wanting to stay around $1,000 a month.
Now, not doing necessarily a bad job. You know, there's definitely things the ISA could be doing better as far as responding and maybe using some language less about I'm limited to what I can do to, you know, here's what I can do for you. But when we go back and we look at the this sheet here, and what I want to start doing is I want to start utilizing words that the S behavior style can connect with. And one of those words may be something simple as, how do you feel about that? Would that be something you would be comfortable with? So when her suggestion was, you know, we could connect you with an agent who understands a little bit more about ADA compliance, and has some of that in their personal lives. Would that be, how do you feel about that? Would that be something you would be comfortable speaking with somebody who also, you know, has those same type of challenges that they're faced with? Utilizing the words that identify with that type of behavior style will allow you to get them more comfortable with you and to continue to build more trust with you, right? So finding ways to do that will tie you to that prospect more and more. Okay, let's go back. Let's grab another. Let's grab another call.
Hello. Hi, Miss Tatum, available. This is her. Hi, Tatum. This is Shelly over at Microbix Real Estate team at Select Homes. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. So I don't want to keep you very long. I was just kind of following up. You've been on the website and looked at some properties, and I just didn't know if maybe I could answer any questions for you, or just kind of understand. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, I just think maybe I could help you find what you were looking for.
Well, it's kind of like a weird situation at the moment. I am here in Kansas right now, and my husband is stationed in California.
Okay.
He got a pilot position here at McConnell, but he has to take a test first, and he has to pass the test before he officially gets the position. So we kind of we would be here for a while, so we kind of wanted to invest in some property.
Okay.
And I guess kind of wanted to.
Stop. What kind of behavior system do you think that she is? Is she an I? Is she a D? Is she an S? Is she a C? Is she on the right? Is she on the left? First thing I recognize someone right away. She answers Shelly's question with enthusiasm. Hi, how are you? Hey, Grace, nice to meet you. Thanks for calling. She's an I or a D. She's on the right-hand side, right? So I need to recognize that right away. The next thing that helped me identify it was she immediately interrupted Shelly within probably 15 seconds of the phone call. S's and C's don't interrupt. She's an I. So right now I know she's an I. I'm going to start thinking about my behavior style and how do I best connect with her. And when she tells me stuff like my husband just moved here, or my husband just found out he was a pilot or got a pilot's job, fantastic. That's great to hear. Wow, you must really be excited. Start utilizing those types of words with her. I wouldn't use those kind of words if I was talking to a C. But with her, absolutely fantastic. That is great. You must be really excited, man. That's a really important time in your life. You must really be looking forward to this move. So immediately within 15 seconds of this call, we know what kind of behavior system she is, and we start utilizing that to communicate.
Just get a head start on looking at houses and trying to figure out what we really want. It would just be me looking at the properties, obviously, since he's not here. So that way, because you take this test in April, so I think it takes 4 weeks to get the results back. So we get it back in the beginning of May.
Okay.
And so that would kind of give us okay, it's official. We can start, really preparing to buy a house. We have gone through the VA for a loan, so we know what our price range is and how much we're wanting to spend. So I guess I don't know where to go from there.
Okay. Well, what I would recommend is, I'm not an agent, but I would recommend meeting with a buyer's agent. Just kind of a meet and greet, kind of go over what your needs and wants would be in a home. And and they can kind of explain the process to you, also let you know what areas you might be interested in. It's no charge or obligation, and buyer's agents are free to use, so it's actually paid a fee for you. So if you'd like to set up an appointment for you to just kind of meet with Angela and kind of go over what you guys are looking for.
Okay, yeah, I did send her an email because she sent me one. I sent that just a couple of hours ago.
Right, yeah. I handle all of the agents' calendars and kind of do their follow-up for them, so I can get that scheduled for you with Angela.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, let me see what she has available. What does your schedule look like?
I have a very random schedule because I work in retail.
Okay.
So, I don't, today's my only day off until next Wednesday.
Okay.
And then I have next Wednesday off.
What are your hours? What hours do you kind of work?
Tomorrow I close, so I work 1:30 to 10, and then I open the next morning, so I work 8:30 to 5.
I'm not going to go on with the call, but you understand the how we're working here and how we're looking and listening to people. The outcome of the call is not as important as getting ourselves conditioned that within that first 15, 20, 30, 45 seconds of the call, we're identifying what kind of behavior style they are, and then we modify that. Shelly doesn't really need to modify too much. She's a D, so she can naturally kind of get to the point, and you notice she got to the point pretty quickly with this young lady. The young lady was like, well, I'm here. Shelly kind of went right to it. Well, here's what we can do. And she went right to the point, which is fine with an I. Eyes will get to the point. You just got to lead them a little bit. And Shelly did a good job of leading her right to the place that she needed to go. Okay. Let's have another call here. Let's listen to this other one.
available? This is her. Hi, this is Shelley over at Wichita KS Real Estate at Mike Perfect's office. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. Thanks for asking. You know, I won't keep you very long. I was just kind of following up because you've been.
Did you notice the difference in the tonality from this young lady, from Megan, to the young lady from Tatum, the one before? Do you notice the difference in the enthusiasm of her answer of how are you? Tatum was all like, hey, how are you? Hey, this is great. Glad you called, blah, 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 blah. And Megan here is a lot more subdued. She's more, I mean, she's friendly. Hey, good. How are you? If you notice the difference in tonality, it already starts giving you an idea that she's either an S or an I right away. Probably an S, but let's hear a little bit more.
On their website and looked at a few properties. I didn't know if maybe I could answer any questions for you or just kind of understand a little bit more about your situation and see if I could help you find what you were looking for. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
She's an S. Hear what she just said? Thank you. I appreciate that. S's are very respectful. She's going to lead with that right away. She's very respectful. She's willing to open information and give information. She isn't necessarily going to hold it back, but she's going to be very respectful while doing it. So she's probably an S.
I'm sort of just in a research stage right now. I'm looking to hopefully get some kind of income property. So I've just been looking at, multi-unit homes, homes that have, B&B potential, small farm potential. I have a lot of different ideas of what I like to do, and I'm just right now in the research phase of looking in different towns in Maine, and kind of seeing like what's out there. And
she's saying I'm in the research phase. She's using the language of an S and a C. I's and D's very seldom say I'm in a research phase. I'm going to research. I'm looking. She used that term several times. If I'm the ISA, I'm also going to use that word later on in the context of the call. Now, this call actually is going to be relatively short because this caller is actually looking in a different part of the country than here. But if I was continue on with her, I would utilize, one of the things that we've done here is we've really taken the time to research the properties that we'll be sending you. It'll give you an opportunity to really sit back and measure them up against each other as you decide on what factors are the most important to you. See, she's on the SC of the behavior scale, not on the ID. She's an S, but she's bringing in some C properties because she's systematic in the way she's doing things. I's are not systematic. D's are not systematic. Right? These are all clues. The words they use, the tonality they use, the pacing they use, the pitch they use are all clues to help you be more like them, to help your message be heard better.
I'm going to kind of use that information to kind of make a game plan. So I have actually my set. Oh, sorry, go ahead. We get this a lot. You're looking at Andover, but you're actually looking at Andover, Kansas on this site. You're looking for Maine. Oh my goodness. Yes, I am. Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's definitely something I need to know. Well, we have a lot of farms here in Kansas. Yes. But yeah, we get that a lot. People search for Andover, and it pulls up Andover, Kansas, so it comes to our site. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate your time so much, and if I'm ever looking at anything in Kansas, I'll be sure to go through you guys. Okay, great. Thanks.
Did you see how she was even very respectful even at the end? She apologized, and she also made sure that she kept the relationship whole by saying, hey, I'll make sure I'll get back to you guys if I ever need anything. I'm in Kansas. She obviously was in the state of Maine and not in Kansas, and Shelley figured that out pretty quickly. But once again, those are all clues, folks. Those are all clues to make us better at what we do. It should be a conscious effort. Every time I talk to somebody, I try to recognize what kind of behavior style they are. Yeah, as we constantly look at those opportunities to figure out what kind of behavior styles they are, it helps us better understand. And it's all about being understood, right? Communication is all about being understood. Zig Ziglar said it best. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. If you can communicate with people in a fashion of which they connect with, you're gonna build trust, and they're gonna realize that you care. And the more trust you build with them, the more likely are they to self-disclose information. The more information they self-disclose, once again, more trust is built. So it goes in a circle. It continues to build upon itself. Learning how to communicate effectively with the different behavior styles is immensely important. This sheet here shows us how to communicate with people, right? If we're dealing with D's, we need to be more direct, etc. If we're I's, we need to be more lighthearted. Don't be proud to crack a joke. Ask about feelings and opinions and be friendly. If they're S's, be patient with them. Take a little bit more time. Don't be afraid of the pause on a phone call. Be specific with them. Ask them what they would like to do to proceed. Ask them about their opinions. If you're communicating with a C, make sure you're using facts. Make sure you're using their language. Use their language in conjunction with all the behavior styles, and you're going to be more like them. I said at the very beginning, people buy from people they like. People like people that are like them. Therefore, people buy from people that are like them. Understanding how to communicate and getting outside of yourself, outside of your comfort zone, to where you can communicate with somebody on their level makes you a much more effective salesperson and an effective communicator. There's some people that are on the line right now, and I deal with this frequently, that are basically saying to themselves, I'm not comfortable speaking in a way other than I speak. What you're basically saying is that you're selfish. I'm this way, and everyone should just modify their behavior to be more like me. Well, you're in the wrong place. You have got to learn to get outside of who you are to be able to do the job that needs to be done. You can go back to being who you are, but for that 5 minutes, you've got to be able to go up the chain a little bit. Or if you're super high enthusiastic, sometimes you need to be able to slow down. We all have our crosses to bear. We all have our behavior styles that we need to modify. I have to work just as hard to communicate with an S as an S has to draw outside of themselves to communicate with a D like me. I have to work just as hard as you. If I can do it, you can do it. So get outside of yourself, get outside of your comfort zone, change that belief system to say, you know what, if I change my approach slightly, I may be able to get a better result. I really appreciate you guys today. I appreciate you sticking with us. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties we had earlier. Hopefully going over this video here will compensate for you and get a little bit more information in your hands about what we're talking about. Learn how to use this profiling to your advantage. Make it part of who you are. Really dig into the science of this, and you're going to be better salespeople, better agents, better rainmakers, and quite frankly, your relationships are going to get better. If you can learn how to better communicate with your children and communicate better with your spouses, then my job here today is done as well. Thank you all very much. Have a great day, and hopefully you guys all hopped into call night and enjoyed call night. Thank you very much.